Hey, you! Do you like drinking and good old rock, paper, scissors, butt booty naked? If you happen to like all of those things, then check out this masterpiece of an anime, Grand Blue. A show that is about 5% diving and 95% male hentai. And obviously we came to see that 95%. Since season 2 is currently airing, I wanted to take a look back into season 1 that came out. You said what? Damn! Fucking 7 years ago. Ignoring that though, Grand Blue is a hilarious comedy anime that revolves around the chaotic life of Yori Kitahara as he begins his university life after moving into his uncle's diving shop named Grand Blue. Yori, optimistically hoping for his freshman year at his university to be sunshine and rainbows, was immediately greeted with big buff naked. Which I guess if you're into that stuff would still be sunshine and rainbows, but hey, you do you. Anyway, Yori soon finds out that these people are part of the Peekaboo Diving Club. A club that is falsely portrayed as a diving club, as they actually spend more time drinking and stripping naked instead of actually diving. There, he meets his seniors, who consensually make him join the club. And with a little help of our good old friend Peer Pressure later, Yori soon finds himself partaking in the dumb shit the club does. Most of the show revolves around the characters getting into dumb shit with each other, drinking, and getting naked. And I mean, hey, you can sign me up for that. There's also diving occasionally, but it's like this show's a diving anime or something. But enough with the monologuing, let's get into why this show is so good. Grand Blue is a prime example of an anime where you can shut your brain off. You don't have to be a modern day Socrates to understand half of what's going on. Like, come on bro. This show isn't like one of those anime where you have to understand the underlying themes and complicated plots in order to enjoy. Nah, they could probably just give you a scene like this, and it would have you giggling in your chair the whole time. Yes, I know some of these might not be up to your humor standards, and you might not find them funny because, you know, humor is subjective. But if you were looking for a show that even your brain dead ranked teammates could comprehend, this is just that. On top of the ridiculous clips though, the anime will randomly throw at you the funniest one-liners and have the most ridiculous logic that would have you dying of laughter. I don't know, maybe it's because my frontal lobe hasn't fully developed or my sense of humor is just cooked, but there's something hilariously appealing about the show. By far, one of the most funniest things about this show was the facial humor. You can just be watching a regular scene and just out of nowhere, they just give you a face that would just catch you off guard and make you shit your pants out of laughter. I mean, come check this out. Just look at this, and this, and this. You get the point. The show just gives off a really unserious, goofy vibe because all the characters on the show are just having the time of their lives. And it just feels so contagious when watching. But you can't talk about why a show is so good without mentioning its characters. Yori, as the protagonist of the show, usually is in the center of all the conflicts. As the series progresses, you can clearly see him giving less fucks and gradually partaking in the silly shit the club does. Then we have his best buddy, Kohei, who's your average degenerate weeb. And he's possibly a pedophile. Anyway, he typically gets into conflicts alongside Yori or engages in the club activities as well. Chisa is probably the only sane person in the group because she doesn't actually do any of the shit the others do. She's also the only one there who wants to go diving. Yeah, someone's gonna need to tell her about that. And then there's Chisa's sister, Nanika, who's... Yeah, she's weird, but she's bad, so we can let it slide. Tokuda and Kotobuki are Yori's ridiculously jacked upperclassmen, who typically instigate most of the conflicts that Yori gets into. But at the end of the day though, they're still looking out for him, so like, they're not that bad I guess. These are just the core members of the group, but we're later introduced to more characters that just continue to add to the silly dynamic of the show. And with each and every edition, it just makes the show so much more entertaining and enjoyable to watch. I'd also like to mention at the end of my rant here, this shit is not a diving anime. Whoever told you it's a diving anime was fucking lying. They probably dive like a total of 3 times in the show. But when they do though, it is pretty cool and it probably has some of the best drawn scenes in the entire show. But they like barely include these scenes anyways. And like most of the show is just them edging the idea of it. So if you were jumping out of your seat to watch diving, go check out National Geographic or something. Anyway, whether it's the absurd shit the main cast gets into, the over-the-top reactions, or the constant chaos, Grand Blue is an anime that really gets you to laugh no matter how you're feeling. If you're feeling happy, watch Grand Blue. If you're feeling sad, watch Grand Blue. If you're feeling freaky, watch Grand Blue. No, but seriously, no other anime has made me laugh my ass off as much as I did when I watched Grand Blue. And I think for a comedy anime, it is definitely up there. Also, as a reminder, I do not condone any of the behavior that you have just saw in this video. Please, do not go outside with your Johnson out. With that being all out of the way though, if you haven't seen it yet, I definitely recommend watching it. If you have though, you should probably go see it again because it's definitely worth rewatching. And also, as a reminder, season 2 is currently airing right now, so go check that out too. Alright, I'm basically done here. If you managed to get this far, drop a like. And if you don't, I'm gonna show you what this diving thing's all about. But yeah, have a good rest of your day.